feel it in the air. The summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty street. The sun goes down. I'm driving by your house, blowing low, you're not home. And I can see you. Your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair pulled down, sunglasses on, baby. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer are gone. I never will forget those nights. I wonder if it was a dream. Remember how you made me crazy. Remember how I made you scream. Now I don't understand what happened to our love. But babe, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna show you what I'm made of. And I can see you. Your brown skin shining in the sun. I see you walking real slow and smiling at everyone. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer are gone. You're out on the road today, and some deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. A little voice inside my head saying, don't look back, you can never look back. I thought I knew what love was, what did I know? Those days are gone forever, I should just let them go back. And I can see you, some brown skin shining in the sun. You got your top pulled down, radio on, baby. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer are gone. And I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair slicked back, wave their hands on, baby. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me. 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. So come on, baby, don't say maybe. I got to know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up our climbing in, take it easy. Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got worlds of trouble on my mind. Looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. She's so hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I got to know if your sweet love is gonna save me. Oh, oh,
dream of a girl I used to know. I close my eyes and she slipped
as well as to extend a sincere thank you to everyone who has come today in honor of my father, Paul Bourne. Before we begin, I'd like to remind you to silence or turn off your cell phones at this time. The ceremony is being recorded via live stream and also photographed professionally. My name is Lance Bourne, and I will be leading us through a celebration of Paul Bourne's life. He passed away on February 7th at 4:20 p.m., family by his side in the comfort of his home, after a brave fight against cancer. 4:20 being a most ironic of times for those of you who know my father well. He was a son to Michael and Therese Bourne, a loving father to my sister Ashley and myself, a partner of 17 years and a husband of 7 to his wife Megan, a brother to Auntie Fiona, an uncle to Mark and Emily. My father will be remembered for the profound impact he left on all of us throughout his career and throughout his life. Whether you knew him as the surfer, where he so captivatingly entertained the rally scene and has gone on to inspire the next generation of motorsport drivers, or through the work he did with the Barbados Surfing Association as a surfer. Whether you knew him through Peg Farm, where he's created a community and an environment dedicated to bringing healthy food to the people of Barbados, or even casually just meeting him as a stranger. His attitude to everyone he interacted with was truly admirable. My father was one of the most kind and loving people ever. His genuine desire to help others of all backgrounds was truly admirable. His influence so impactful that many of us have lived almost vicariously through him, and now his legacy lives on through all of us. I'm going to announce a video of Amazing Grace by Dan Voss, which was sent to Dad by one of his close friends, John Mike, in November last year, which he played over and over. Thank you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, taunts and snares, I have already come. Disgrace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
was blind, but now I see.
Read two poems chosen by Auntie Fiona.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Uncle Paul's life. This is a poem which has given our family some comfort since his passing, and I'm here to say it on behalf of Uncle Paul. When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not here to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today, while thinking of the many things we didn't get to say. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you, and each time you think of me, I'll know you miss me too. When tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. If every time you think of me, I'm right there in your heart. I'll now invite Randall to say a little prayer.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
All right. I'm going to have Ashley come and announce her tribute to Dad now.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Nothing quite prepares you for this day, for the loss of a loved one. We all know that our time on this earth is only temporary, but I didn't think your time would be this soon. My dad had a lot of love to give and was a passionate person. He was strong-willed and did anything he set his mind to. He was also a complete clown and had no shame. He was constantly making people laugh and often wonder, "This man got in your head?" Paul the Surfer Bourne, Surfa, PB, were just a few of his nicknames. My dad connected with a lot of people throughout his life, in a lot of ways through sport, especially motorsport. So much so that growing up, my name to most people was Paul Moore's daughter. Even though he's been out of rallying for years now, Paul the Surfer Bourne still lives on. When it comes to driving, I blame my dad for my heavy foot. To be fair, I was taught no other way. I remember him teaching me how to drive both at Bushy Park and in the kart roads from around 11 years old in his little white Subaru Impreza. Once I was able to drive the racetrack as if I was on the road, then I was ready for the real lessons. How to drive the fastest line with as much speed as possible, and of course, how to pull a handbrake. When my friends would come over after school, every time without fail, someone would be screaming in the back seat as he pelted sideways into our driveway with me in the front seat, smiling ear to ear. My dad lived his life at full throttle, in more ways than one. His perception of fear was not of the average person's, whether it was in a barrel of a hurricane swell or behind the wheel of a WRC going sideways, or bringing his vision of Peg to life. In the last few months of my dad's life, he was challenged in a way he never was before. But every single day he chose life. He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable or to show how scared he was at times about death and about leaving us in his wake. I know that he is at peace now, probably wandering through Peg's gardens and petting the pigs that he loves so much. I know he is with each of us, maybe more than he ever has been before. I want you to know, Dad, I am thankful for the time we had together. I miss you and I love you. Thank you.
We're going to have a video played by Jimmy Giddens, a longtime friend of my father. Played now.
Correct. As it. To improve his performance and rallying, just to be more focused. Not just,
Rallying.
Yeah.
Water Wednesdays is on the road today in this beautiful part of St. Joseph. What you're seeing right here is
Peg Farm and Nature Reserve is this beautiful farmscape that we have created to support healthy, holistic lifestyles. I grew up here in Barbados surfing, living in the water, always enjoyed walking in the forest and nature, and Peg is here to support that kind of lifestyle, healthy food, to support young, strong athletes, in our surfing industry that has risen to new heights.
Con los terroristas.
They do the Harlem Shake.
Right-hander? I can go fast. Oh, last. Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go.
Alright, there you go. Use this, man. Born preparing for next year. Come on, let me go.
All right, then. All right. A lot of guys who would not normally have the opportunity to compete in rallying get the opportunity to compete here.
Trailing by 5 at the start of day 2 after a 10-second penalty on day 1, Bourne and Maloney were still able to win Rally Barbados.
Okay, well I hope you enjoyed the flick. Keep in tune, surfer out.
As you can see, Ashley hit the nail on the head when she said unapologetically himself and had no shame. We're going to now have a eulogy written by longtime close friend John Leach.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the Bourne family for inviting me to come and say a few words. Probably a few too many, but we'll get started. Actually, who doesn't know Paul the Surfer Bourne? I mean, what can I really tell you about him that you don't already know? Paul Bourne, local surfing dude, crazy man, rally driver, guy with no boundaries, party animal, an icon of our generation. But I know him to be a very intelligent, warm, caring man, a true friend. Passionate in his beliefs with a determination to succeed. So I wish to share with you a little about the man I know and will never forget. He's the son of Michael and Therese Bourne, and brother to Fiona. Paul was born October 28, 1964, and my first memories of Paul was from Gulfview Terrace, Rockley, where he lived opposite to my family. Our families were very close from the days of our parents. So naturally, our friendship developed from there. In fact, my mom considered him a second son. She recently told me that she gave him his first bath and fed him, as she was a little more experienced than his mom, after she nearly drunk me many times before. But practice makes perfect, I guess. It was not uncommon for me to come home and see Paul at my table eating my food. I was like, what was this? But, you know, I guess you got hungry when you crossed the road. And he would be chatting with my mom or my dad like if they were old buddies from ever since. But there was always enough for him and Fiona. Gulfview Terrace was an avenue full of young people and hippies. And it was where we learned to love the outdoor life, to run free, to ride bikes, play cricket, fly kites. But it's also where we bonded as brothers for life. Myself, Martin Reisman, Andrew Bryant, Peter Don Kim, and Sharko Allan. And much later on with Kenny Ward and John Mike Peterkin. We refer to ourselves as the boys. Paul went to school at a convent and was obviously a brainiac, going on to Harrison College, where he did well and went right through to sixth form. Here he continued his bond with the outdoor life, trying sailing, windsurfing, football, cricket. He would try anything. He wasn't scared to try anything and wasn't scared to fail either. It was at Harrison College that he got his first nickname, the Nose. He suffered from allergies and his sneezing was legendary. You could hear him from all down by the carrying dish. I am sure he produced a gallon of snot per day. Sailing was his first major sport. We sailed together for Barbados and eventually graduated to the big boats, which led to our beloved Pandora, which had many stories, but that'll be for another time. It was during these years that, like most teenagers, I guess, we discovered sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And, of course, surfing. Surfing was not just a sport. It became a way of life for us. We loved to surf. We were obsessed. Paul quickly developed a reputation for himself and went on to win one of the first national competitions, having knocked out both me and John Mike. And eventually went on to follow his dream to surf in Hawaii and many other countries in the world. This love for surfing he passed on to his son Lance, who Paul believed had the ability and dedication to do better and go further than he was able to. Paul showed no fear in the water. I believe that the life-changing moment for us and in relation to surfing was when, once looking at an old surfing magazine in Bill and Roger's surf shop, and we saw one of the greats going over the falls, and the headline read, "He who hesitates is lost." This became his motto, and he put his all in wherever he put his mind to something. The boys would go surfing together, and it would be invariably big. And this is how it played out. I would make a half-hearted attempt to drop in and pull up the handbrake. Paul would be deep down inside with a big smile on his face because he knew he was in his sweet spot. Kenny would be even deeper in suicide position, as usual. Martin was somewhere down in the rip still trying to get out. And Sharko was still on land talking to the lonely tourist girl on the beach. Such was the nature of who we were and who we were to become, and to this day, who we are. Paul devoted himself to surfing and the development of this sport, and eventually put a lot of effort into the Surfing Association and into encouraging young people to take part in surfing as a clean and healthy sport. And we all are very grateful for that, I believe. Paul joined MER Bourne, his family business, after Harrison College, because university was really not for him. Our first taste of things to come at MER Bourne was during one summer holidays. We were encouraged to work and stop hanging out at Accra Beach. I wonder why. All was going well until, in typical PB style, he challenged me as to who could lift the heaviest bag of animal feed. To prove he was stronger, he insisted to hoist this bag over his head, but only to be covered in what seemed like 1,000 cockroaches. The man with no fear in the water feared cockroaches. He threw the bag down and locked himself in the meat freezer. And after some time, he was coaxed to come out. And we were treated to the task of cleaning pickled pigtails and rebrining them in new buckets for the rest of the day. Next day, South Coast was up and pumping, and both MER Bourne and us were happy. We were encouraged to go surfing. When I heard he was going back to MER Bourne, I thought, yeah, all right, how long will that last? But he dedicated himself to the task as always and was instrumental in the company's expansion over the years. Daddy Mike, I'm sure you were glad to have him at your side. And I'm sure there was never a dull moment. With the job came a car, and the crazy driving started. He boasted to me frequently that he thought he set a record by being able to get to Soup Bowl in 9 minutes from MER Bourne, when there was a huge north swell on. Do you feel that's possible? Well, he did it. Paul married his first real love, Anne-Marie, and together they had 2 beautiful children, Ashley and Lance, who I know he treasured dearly and was proud of their achievements. I assume that at this stage the need for a greater adrenaline rush is what led Paul to the sport of motor racing and rallying. It was here that he became known as for his lack of fear and his drive to win. His passion was to move from second spot to the first spot and out ski. That's all I ever heard. I ain't know nothing about car racing, but that's all I ever heard. And he did it eventually. He was given the name The Surfer and became loved and admired by his many fans and followers. It's unfortunate that I believe it was during these years that he lost control of his life somewhat and burned the candle at both ends. He became the life of the party, the clown, with no shame. Everybody knew who he was. It was no longer about the sport eventually. It was all about his ego and attention seeking, often to the detriment of those around him. This, he admitted to me with deep regret during one of our marathon conversations, no boundaries talk. Luckily for himself and for us, he hit rock bottom and had the sense to seek help. His life started to turn around. He paused with the rallying and partying and crazy life and began to heal. For the first time in his life, he found a purpose in his life for something he could dedicate his future to. It was his dream, his vision, and his to create and mold and watch grow. It was not what was expected of him by society or family or friends, and not what he was told to do, but what he felt a real connection with. He found a partner in Megan, his wife, who was with him through thick and thin to the end. It was her presence and persistence and commitment that kept him in line and from going off the tracks. Paul created PEG not only as his legacy, but as a place where kindred spirits could meet and enjoy good conversation and a healthy lifestyle. He became quite an expert in healthy eating, alternative medicine, and biodynamic farming. It was at this moment that we reconnected on a deeper level. Not many people understood why was he doing PEG. what was the need for this? He didn't have to. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it was his dream, his legacy. He would call me frequently to discuss technical issues and to give him an update and ask for advice and help. I would listen. He had to, because he would hardly stop to take a breath. He could talk the pants off a centipede. However, I can tell you for a fact, he made many mistakes along the way, but he always found solutions and kept the ball rolling. I think he was well ahead of his time, a visionary, and he was not afraid to put his money where his mouth was. Lance, I hope you follow your dad's lead and help complete his dream. He had every confidence in your ability to step up and take control. Paul chose to live life in the fast lane. He lived a long and full life. It was his life, and he did it his way. May he now rest in peace. Before I move, Megan asked if I would read a few words for her. What a privilege it has been to have met Paul and have him by my side all these years. He lived his life to the fullest, and I am honored he included me in it. Paul's achievements in life were exceptional, and one of the many things I admired about him. He was an amazing man with a huge heart, great visions, and a passion for what he loved. His ability to make everyone feel comfortable, secure, and loved were just a few of his greatest strengths. Our time together wasn't for as long as I had hoped for, but those 17 years were some of the best memories I got to create with him. He opened up my eyes to a whole different outlook on life and took me around the world with him to places I wouldn't have gone if it weren't for him. I was always one adventure after the next with him. Many memories I will cherish forever. His joviality and good nature is what attracted people to him. He was someone you could trust and turn to for advice. He always had the time for anyone who needed it, no matter how busy he was. He was encouraging too. Anytime I had doubts, he would immediately flip the situation and turn it into a positive. I saw him do this with so many others as well, and that came to him with ease, one of the many qualities he had that I admired. Paul was my first love and only love. He was my soulmate and my inspiration. He supported and loved us all, navigating us through life's challenges. I can't express how much I will miss him until we meet again, my sweet. Megan, from the boys, our heart goes out to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle John, for that beautifully done eulogy and bringing us through those memories with you. Now we're going to have a few more key memories shared by some of his closest friends, John Mark Peterkin, Kenny Ward, and Graeme Allan.
I can go first. Okay, I'm gonna go first. Get it over with. All I gotta say is, wow, Paul really touched on a whole lot of you. Church is full, gardens, everything all full. Look at this. He is just such a very friendly person. And I know Paul from Golf Club Road, as Johnny said. We all grew up together, and I remember him surfing. Lance has asked us to say funny things, so we had to dig pretty deep to find a few things that we know about Paul. And it starts out with his surfing at Archer Beach. So we all learned to surf on a big, huge windsurfing board that was about so thick and about so long. And then Paul was the first person to get a surfboard. So we would beg Paul for a little piece, you know, get a little ride on his surfboard. And the surfboard now was the problem. Everybody get on his surfboard, falling off, getting pelt off. So we nicknamed the surfboard the Camel. Because nobody else in there could ride that surfboard like Paul. So you could always see Paul down sunset on an evening late, the sun going down, Paul riding the Camel. Wow. So that's the surfing part there now. So afterwards, we all grew up and went to school, and then came back. Paul was working at MER Bourne in Roebuck Street. They didn't have, I don't think, Big B or MER Bourne at that time. Maybe. Martin, you could correct me, but it was just a hole in the buildings in Roebuck Street. So MER Bourne used to sell the most potatoes and onions probably in the whole of Barbados. All from one Bedford truck to the next Bedford truck, they're coming out, in and out, in and out. So I had a catamaran, a small one at the time. And Paul said, hey, I got some rum to sell you. So why you don't come down by MER Bourne and get some rum, some of this rum. So I gone down to see Paul now in the Roebuck Street hole in the wall venue where everything happened at the time. And Paul said, all right, well, come with me. So we gone down the back walk. The first time I've been in there, walking past all these onions and potatoes. They get down in the back now, and they got a big brown ladder up to a landing at the top. Paul going up first, he going up second. We climb up, and then I had a big, huge stainless steel vat. I mean big. Must have had about 1,000 gallons of rum. So they had another spot up top there that I could climb up the ladder and sit down up there. So me and Paul going up there now. So Paul says to me, you want 3-year-old rum? Or you want... So I say, yeah, sure, 3 is good. So Paul bring out the... So he said, all right, well, grab the paddle. I got a big one, paddle. Mr. Bourne, you remember that. I see you looking at me. And you... Paul paddle, I started a paddle. You think going wrong. Paul do so, but then some browning, coloring. He said, all right, that is 3. How we looking? You sure you don't want 5? Yeah. He gone back and put in a little bit more. Back paddling, man. Back paddling. So that was one thing I remember Paul. Never forget Paul for that rum. It was 7. I think I paid $300 Belgian to get 4 gallons of this rum. So we go on by another party now, the Friday night, out by Tom Worm. So who should bring a gallon of the rum? The rum, but me. The rum was called Lord Nelson rum. You know the fella that down from for some reason or the other. The other day I got into that. Too much. Well. I go on there now with this gallon of Lord Nelson rum. And the party starting, party getting better and better. Everybody by the end of the party know the same. Bring out the Lord, bring the Lord. You ain't got no more of that rum? So, all right, that's surfing, that's rum. You go now to farming. No, we pass out the rally car. So we got a rally car now. Paul is a rally car expert. I lost a bit of Paul, and then I ended up at Paul's birthday down Peron. So Paul got the Peugeot GT, whatever you call it, Peugeot 403 GTI, full race car. Paul said, Graeme, you ever went for a ride in a race car? I said, no. He said, you want to come now? I said, okay, mistake. I go again, the car now. Peron, Rendezvous Hill coming. Fly over Rendezvous Hill, hit the second bump, fly over there, go around the roundabout, the wrong way, dodging cars, turn around, come back down, more air, bounce off on the top of Rendezvous Hill, hit in the middle, out the now I don't know how I get back to Peron. When I get back to Peron now, guess what happened? My wife Veronica, she looked at me and said, "So how was he ride?" Well, it was tempting. He said, "It was great, man. You should try it." She gonna hop in, never missed it. She shaking, she had, I don't think she ever forgive me for that one. So we going again here now. So we got the surfing with the camel, the ram, we got the ram, we got the rally car, and we going for the farming now. My friend Paul, my very best friend. I got, they say you have a lot of friends. I look around here, I see a lot of my friends. But seriously, your very best friends, you can count them on one hand. Paul was on that one hand. All right, let me get to the farming before we start crying. So we have the farming now. Paul started off with pig farm, everything good. Farming, Christmas time coming up, you know, everybody rearing turkeys. So Paul, know, Christmas gone by. This like second weekend, February, Paul vexed and cruel about something. I don't know. He called me, Graeme, you want some turkeys to buy? I said, Paul, with me, man, these turkeys get so big, the supermarket and want to buy them. $5 for a turkey. You know me, I like a good deal. I called for 2 turkeys and I go and pay. So the man arrived now with a big igloo cooler, you know, one of them that you fill with the fish and thing. So I go on by Paul now and put the cooler in the back of the station wagon and the cooler, the top can shut, you know. I mean, talking about the biggest birds I ever seen in my life. When I get home, lucky for me, the gardener was there and he had a wheelbarrow. Yeah, I put one in a wheelbarrow at a time. 2 men had to put them turkeys, each turkey. So Paul was a good surfer, a good race car driver, a great friend, and a good farmer. So we love him dearly, and I'm sorry we lost him. My heart goes out to you guys. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I can't top that. I can't top that. My story this afternoon is going to be with Pandora. Pandora, he got one too.
I got Pandora story too. I forget. My birthday. Paul, I tell Paul, listen, Paul, I got some friends that we go sailing. So this boat, Pandora, Kenny can tell you a story about Pandora, but it's not the same story. So my birthday come out, I invite a few friends. Paul get the boat ready. We go on by the yacht club. I see 6 friends arrive. I wrote them out. Another 6 come. The boat is 19 feet long. Man, here showing another 5. 21 people arrive at this Pandora birthday party for Graeme. So we going around the harbor wall, Paul called me and said, that thing boat right down to the gunnel. Paul said, come here a minute. I want to show you something. He take your foot off the hole, the drain hole. And like a fire hose spouting through too. Spouting through. He said, all right, put your foot there now. And stand there for the next hour and a half. When we get around the harbor wall, all the rum run out. We go on by Brighton, and gone over by the shop there by the spring yard and buy back another gallon of rum and head on. 21 people on Pandora. That's the record, boy. And when we get down by PNSB or Silent, wherever it was, I see he has some very dear friends, Peterkin and David Kim, that are not here. They were there, and a bunch of the other people. They all got scared, jump off the boat, catch the bus back home, boy. Then get back. Boat gonna sink. All right, I done.
Right. Well, mine is a Pandora story too. Somewhere in the mid '80s or thereabouts, Captain Paul was racing the Pandora. Mr. Bourne, remember, I don't know if you know which story I can tell, but I would guess I would have to say I was the first mate. But, and there was 2 other crew on this one race. I don't want to implicate anybody in any debauchery, but I think it was John Evelyn and possibly Andrew Bryant. Yes, if I have them wrong, and please forgive me. But this one round the island race, it started like at 4 in the morning. You had to be at the starting line for 4 or something like that. So the night before, Paul and I, being surfers, we decided that as Pandora was 19 feet, only 19 feet, and shallower draft than the other big boats, we would always come in last physically, but we would often win by handicap. So in this round the island race, we would have been coming in so far last. So we decided that we can try a little something as we are big wave surfers. So the day before, we said that what we would do, all the other bigger boats with a bigger draft, they would go right off of East Point before they tacked or jibed. I never understood all these sailing terms, why they would call a sheet, a rope, a sheet and stuff, but I think it was a jibe. But they had to go all the way up to East Point and outside the reef before they tacked and came down with the spinnaker. Now, I was the lightest person on the boat, I guess, one of the most agile at that time. So I did all the running around on the deck, hauling out the spinnaker and that kind of thing. But we decided the night before that we would cut through Sam Lord's Castle, the reefs at Sam Lord's Castle. After all, we're big wave surfers. And so we ended up right there, and we saw a little break in the reef, and Captain Paul said, "Let's go for it, Ken." And we went through and cut off, I would estimate a couple miles, and ended up, Mr. Bourne, am I correct or not? But we ended up in front of everybody. Fiona, you remember that? We were in front. We don't ever be in front. Huh? But the other thing, when we were coming through the reef, oh man, how we didn't ground off. We surfed a couple waves, but Captain Paul was at the helm, and he had his trusty first mate. And but we made it. So many times I was looking down, and the reef was real close. But we made it, and we made it out front. Captain Paul said, "Kenny boy, run up to the front hatch, pull out the spinnaker. We cruising down the coast." So I pull out the spinnaker, and we got it going. I believe the other 2 crew members, again, I don't want to put them in any bad position, but they were the 2 guys on either side of holding the sheets for the spinnaker, because you had to keep the spinnaker to the wind. But Captain Paul, with a little encouragement from his first mate, decided it was time to celebrate and party. So out came the cooler with some beers and some other goodies like potato chips. and as we were celebrating, I heard an awful snap, and looked up, both me and Paul looked up, and the spinnaker that Captain Paul, I would have to say, neglected to tell the fellas, pull in a little there, let out a little there, because we were partying. Awful snap, and it wrapped around the mast, the spinnaker stay, or whatever it was called, and that was the end of it. All the other boats passed us out. We were there trying to undo this thing. And I guess that's my story. I think, am I telling it as it was? Because I think, Mr. Bourne, you were on shore. You couldn't believe how Pandora get out front. And then we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. I think that's the one. I have so many other stories I could tell, but I will leave that for maybe a more private audience. Yeah, Paul, I miss you dearly, my brother. When I see you on the other side, I can surf a big one with you. I can surf a big one with you on the other side, my brother. Rest in peace.
Yes, well, I was a little older than most of these other guys, but we all had the same love for surfing. And as I mentioned, they grew up surfing Sunset. Kenny wasn't really a Sunset surfer, but I was a Sunset surfer, so I got to know these guys from surfing Sunset. I would say I was like maybe the second generation, and these guys were the third generation of surfers in, let's call it the annals of Barbados surfing. And now they got probably Generation X. You see all these young kids laughing around the place. But anyway, so Sunset was the breeding ground for a lot of us. A lot of people see Sunset as a marginal wave, and they all go down Brandon's, and only a couple of us hang out at Sunset over the years. People like Dragon, I don't know if Dragon is here. He's a stout Sunset man. Anyway, so Paul grew from Sunset. Then the next thing is, a few years later, Johnny and I went down to Mount Irving one January. He was at university in UE. And then the next year, Paul joined us, and he bring Punk from Bathsheba. So the four of us head down to Mount Irving, 2 tents, and we sleeping on the beach, and we surfing. Surfing, a lot of surfers here, but you take off, and you go down, you do a bottom turn, and you go up, and if you can do it, you hit the lip, and you throw some spray, you go down, and you do another bottom turn. And Paul would stand up on this Mount Irving wave, which was a long right wave, and Paul is a regular foot. And you would just see Paul going down doing off the lips, off up 50 to 100 meters, and Paul just doing off the lips, one after the other. It was beautiful to watch Paul surf Mount Irving. So also in Mount Irving, at night we would cook what we call a one-pot soup. You would put the macaroni, the sweet potatoes, anything, breadfruit, vegetables, and we put everything in a one-pot soup, cook it up, and every man had a spoon. So one night it was Paul's turn to cook the soup. So instead of going to the tap like we always did to fill up the pot, he went in the sea and filled up with seawater. He said, well, we can salt this. We got the salt already in the pot. So everything went good, and we eating this soup, and all of a sudden we start feeling a lot of crunching. So when he picked up the seawater, he also picked up a lot of sand too. So as we were eating, all we doing is crunching as we eating this soup, and we got the term sand soup, because Paul made sand soup. So continue the surfing trend now. As we mentioned, we got into big wave surfing. And Maycox was the final, outside Maycox was the final frontier in Barbados surfing at that time. Nobody had surfed it yet. And outside Maycox only breaks when it gets over 10 foot. Otherwise, it just feathers and peters out. So, you know, if you're going out there, you're going up there to surf big. So there was another good friend of ours called Tom Church, who was living in Barbados at the time, who's from the States. He's not here. And so it was Paul, Tom, and I going out, and Kenny was inside surfing inside Maycox, and he see us paddling out, and he bung and joined us, and the four of us went out, and we created, I would like call it surf history in Barbados by surfing outside Maycox. I know over the years I see Rapson out there. I see Rapson come out there one day and get pulled in with a jet ski and hog all the waves, but anyway, that was down the line. So yeah, and then over the years, same Kenny, Paul, Tom, myself got to love to, we used to go for the big waves. In those days, there was no internet or nothing, but every time it had a big swell, at dawn, it seemed that every one of us would turn up and we would head out and surf parlor, and surf parlor big. And when you're out there, we in God's hands sometimes, boy. And you get an adrenaline Don't mind let him drown one day, but I ain't gonna tell that story. You out there, and you see a set on the horizon coming for you. And you don't know if you're too close in or not. All you do is you got a rush, and you pile into the horizon with all your might, hoping either to catch it or get over the top before it breaks on you. And Paul described in later years the thrill that he got from rallying was the same thrill that he got from big wave surfing. So I could only imagine what that must have been like. I had to put a little farm into this. When Paul started a gym down in Peron, and he had Jeffrey Bino, I don't know if he's here, and I, as his, he was our personal coach. And that was the only time at Peg Farm, and he said he going to look at this piece of land. So we got there with him. Those of you who know Peg Farm know there's a gully between the campsite and the main ground. That gully was just heavily overgrown. We went down there, each man with a cutlass, and we hack our way from one end to the other. And when we came to Hackerton's Cliff, we opened up and we see the view in front of us. I hope I'm not too far from the microphone. And when Paul saw that view, Paul knew that this is where you're going to be. And Peg Farm went from there. All right, so Paul, thank you for all the memories.
Thank you, gentlemen, for those lovely memories, taking us through them almost as if we were with you guys when it happened. I'm going to announce now a video by John Florence, my favorite surfer, featuring TD Jakes. This is a video that I sent my dad a couple years ago, and upon sending it, he became obsessed with it right after watching it the first time, and he continued to play it over and over and over throughout the years. In the morning, before later passing away, Megan played it for him on his phone. By this time, for about 3 weeks prior, no one could get his attention for more than 2 minutes. But when she turned this on and held the phone in front of him to watch it, it had his attention for the entire 6 minutes. Halfway through, he even took the phone from her and held it himself to watch. That was how captivated he was. So we know this video and the words being said in it mean a lot to him, and we're glad that he got a little distraction while he was able to watch it one last time.
Give me a new mind means give me a new perspective. Give me a new perspective. Give me a new way of looking at my situation. Give me a new way of looking at my circumstances. Get my mind ready for this year, because when I get this year, there's going to be blessings, there's going to be miracles, there's going to be opportunities. Oh yes, there's going to be some struggles, it's going to be some challenges, it's going to be some tests, but even the struggles are an opportunity for me to show off the victory if my mind can handle the change. To be blessed. You have to decide to be blessed. You have to decide, you know what, this is a day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad that I will rejoice. Let the past go and step over into the future. Everything that's inflexible and everything that's not ready and everything that's backwards and everything that's negative and everything that's condescending and everything that's carnal and everything that's holding me back, I refuse to take it over into another year and waste another new year with an old mind. The devil is a lie. I will rejoice. somewhere down the yellow brick road and click the heels of your mind and set your affections on things that are above. You could have been free years ago. I will rejoice. Say you don't have to get out of trouble. Tell them you don't have to get out of trouble before midnight. You just have to get your mind out of trouble. If you can get your mind out, you can get your money out. You can get your family out. You can get your job out. You can get your career out. You can get your health out. You can get your prosperity out. If you can get your mind out, no devil in hell, no weapon formed against you, no enemy that hates you, no witch that hexes you can stop you from being free. If you can get your mind out, grab yourself by the hand and say, we're coming out of there.
The amount of times that me and my father have watched that video together brought tears rewatching it again. It's truly more than just a surf video, but really powerful message behind it. And my dad really aligned with that. We're now going to have a poem written, being read by Shernell Ifill.
Good evening, everyone. I have a small tribute here to Paul. February the 7th, 2024 is a day I will never forget. Paul, the surfer Bourne, whom I affectionately called Mr. PB. I met him at a somber time, a time that was full of grief for us both. We had lost a special someone. That someone was Troy, my beloved cousin, and one of PB's dearest friends, the bear. During that time, PB taught me how to navigate through sorrow, how to handle my challenges with dignity, and how to celebrate my triumphs with humility. Now I guess, like me, all y'all are waiting for Jimmy and the Race One crew to create an edited version of the surfer's biography. I'm awaiting that. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul was a friend, a mentor, an inspiration. He was a true champion, a legend. However, this legend has received his final pace notes. Right 5, 30, left 4, 40, tighten 3, plus into triple caution, left 3 into jump, opens over jump, right 4, flat over crest, off this earth, through the big gates and onto the streets of gold. I want grief for PB. Oh no, he is free. He is following the path that was laid, you see. He took his hand when he heard the call. He turned his back and he left it all. He could not stay for another day to laugh, to love, to work or play. Task left undone must stay that way. He found the peace amongst all the fray. Now if his parting has left a void, then I will fill it with remembered joy of friendship shared, laughter and bliss. Ah yes, these things he too shall miss. Be not burdened with times of sorrow. Live only for the sunshine of tomorrow. His life has been full. He rallied much with friends, good times, and loved ones' touch. The pain of parting is hard, I know, but of one thing I am definitely sure. Goodbyes are not forever. They're not the end. In due time, we all will meet again. Perhaps his time may have seemed a bit too brief, but don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Instead, let's lift our hearts and share with him XF55 in Sailor's Gully and Pickering. Surfer out. Rest in peace, Paul Bourne. Megan, from my family to yours and Paul Bourne's family, my deepest condolences. To the driver who assisted me in the car park with the pace notes, I hope I did well. Thank you so much. I'm not sure exactly, but I think I did it. Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you, Shernell. That was beautiful, so soulful and elegant. It really was a lovely poem, and really represented something that my dad stood for. Well, you said it, you really covered it beautifully. Well, everybody, that marks the last presentation for the funeral. I want to send a deep, heartfelt thank you out to everybody that has come in honor of my father today. Thank you for all the friends and family who shared the beautiful poems and the memories that we had the privilege of going back over with them today. Almost like we were with them, smiling and laughing, remembering all the good things that my dad shared with all of us and the impact that he left on us. So, a final farewell to my father, Paul Bourne. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
stood in a doorway, I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and she showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor, I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find it here. Her mind is Tiffany twisted. She got a Mercedes Benz. Oh, she got a lot of pretty, pretty boys that she calls friends. How they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. So I called up the captain, please bring me my wine. And he said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. And still those voices are calling from far away. Wake you up in the middle of the night just to hear them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. They're living it up at the Hotel California. What a nice surprise. Bring your alibis. Mirrors on the ceiling, the pink champagne on ice. And she said, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. And in the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find a passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the night man, we are programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air, the summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty street, the sun goes down. I'm driving by your house, blowing low, you're not home. And I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair pulled down, sunglasses on, baby. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer are gone. I never will forget those nights. I wonder if it was a dream. Remember how you made me crazy. Remember how I made you scream. Now I don't understand what happened to our love. But babe, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna show you what I'm made of. And I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun. I see you walking real slow and smiling at everyone. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer are gone. You're out on the road today, and some dead head sticking on a Cadillac. A little voice inside my head saying, don't look back, you can never look back. I thought I knew what love was, what did I know? Those days are gone forever, I should just let them go back. And I can see you, some brown skin shining in the sun. You got your top pulled down, radio on, baby. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer are gone. And I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair slicked back, way there is on, baby. And I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me. 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It's a dull night morn in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. So come on, baby, don't say maybe. I got to know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up our climbing in, take it easy. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound